Evening, Yasharala. I Rob Tawab. It's a lovely day. Very, very beautiful and lovely day. I'm thankful to the Most High that He allowed me and you, my brothers and my sisters, another opportunity to engage in this free gift of repentance. Because Lord only knows that we desperately need it, not deserving of it at all, but are in desperation of this gift that He has given my people as a whole, including me, of course. We need rehabilitation, spirit deep, and it's concerning and a very grieving thing when you sit back and really contemplate that we as a whole don't necessarily see the condition that we are in. You have some of us that feel like we're part of the quote-unquote conscious group, You have the, menaces to society. You have those that are just carefree, those that want to fit in. It's like we're doing so much and hecka busybody, moving and doing so much, but really not doing anything. Like, we just look busy. Have you ever seen those people that you work with that always be moving? When the manager or supervisor come around, they look like they working, but they're not getting anything done. Everybody know that's the one that's like known for not working. That's how we look, and we look bad, y'all. We look bad, and it's quite grieving and it's concerning. And then when you try, because we can't, but when we try to conceive and understand it from a higher perspective, I wouldn't even say the most highest perspective, because we could never see in the way that He sees. I mean, you see how high the sky is, that's how high His wisdom is, and who can cancel the Lord? So when we think about these things, how long we've been in this condition, and the reasoning behind why we are in this condition, simply because we as a collective, as a whole, as a nation, as a people, as a body, don't want to keep the law. And what's so baffling to me, it's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard to keep at all. There are challenges in life. I will indeed admit that. There are afflictions in life, and we fall. Because I know I've fallen so many dang on times. My knees are scraped up real bad. My shins are sore. My elbows done caught me a few times. But we get back up. The law is like literally not hard to keep. It's not a grievous thing. And it's like it's a cheat code to inherit life, to inherit a life of peace, walking into the land of uprightness. This is our God. And we should desire that He instruct us on how to do His will. But we as a whole do not. Personally speaking, side note, I've been in here for some hours, pretty much all day, in all honesty, in very deep meditation. And I mean, if you could just see, my eyes are so puffy, so fat. I was just thinking, like, we're in a world, we are a royal nation. And just as the scriptures say, these other nations that have encompassed us about, like, they wag their head at us, and there's a byword. They make up a proverb against us, and they'll never consider us to be the children of the Most High God of Israel because of how we act as a people. We're supposed to keep the law, and us keeping the law shows the nations around us that we are a wise and understanding people, yet we are not keeping the law. Some of us are partial with it. Some of us are lukewarm with it. Some of us, sometimes you keep it, sometimes you don't. Some of us don't keep it at all because it's quote unquote done away with. And it's just, I was thinking, and my thoughts started like overwhelming me, because I'm like, wow, like, I'm really in a world where there's pedophilia, where there's human trafficking, where there's treacherous murder. And although I'm not against racism, I'm just going to be honest with you, because I'm a nationalist myself. So I love my people to the detriment of any other nation. But the systemic racism and how hard it is for my people as a whole, especially for the Judean man, it's a sad and it's a grieving thing. And I was just sitting here thinking, like, all of this stuff that's going on, you got these same gender individuals walking around in foolish confusion. You got animals going extinct. The air is polluted. The food is unclean. Food is fake. You have inflation so high, out of this world. Everything is going up, but your pay wage ain't going up. Some of us have families. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. When I tell you, I was facing the east and just crying and like, Lord and Christ. And then I look at myself. It ain't no better because I look bad too. And I can admit it with confidence. I look bad. I look toe up from the flow up. I look toe up. And it's a grieving thing. It's a grieving thing. But just as a word of encouragement, my people, don't give up. Keep fighting the good fight. Gird yourself. Gird up them loins. Gird up that dress. Okay? And put on the whole armor of the Most High God. You got to stay planted, firmly secured at the needle of the tent of the Lord. And you cannot be shook. You got to despise your members for the law of the Lord. To the death of you, that's how you fight for this truth. That's how you seek this truth while the Most High God fights for you. Let him vindicate for you. Come to your aid. He is our buckler. He is our shield. He is our God. There is absolutely no other nation that is as nigh unto the Most High as Israel. There's no other nation who he has shown himself unto. There is no other nation in whom he has given his law to. We are a special, peculiar people, set apart and above all nations that are upon the face of this earth. 18 nations in total. But we are at the top and have been given over to these curses or these promises in the form of curses that are a sign of who we are because of our lack of desire to keep a law that we went into agreement with. Whether you were there in the physical, in the body that you are in, when that oath, when that promise was taken, or not. Literally in this position because we are not keeping the law. The earth is groaning. The animals are unhappy. Insects are unhappy. Everything. The people are unhappy because the wicked are in rulership. And it's like, we can't be mad enough. I'm speaking to myself too. You can't be mad enough. Look at where we are. We are at a very low point as a people. And it's embarrassing. It's grieving and it's concerning. Because you have to ask yourself, when are we really going to get it right? Is it going to be this generation? My generation? It don't look like it. It's a lot going on. A lot of things are changing. But you know, one of the best things in the world, the Most High God of Israel exists. He exists. Come over here really quick. Let's turn to Exodus. I love this particular chapter here. This is chapter 3 in the book of Exodus, and this is verse 14. It says, "And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent sent me unto you." This is the Lord letting it be known. First of all, this is his title. This is his title. He's letting us know that he exists. He exists. And then, of course, if you're familiar with that chapter, which you should be familiar with the book in total. But the next chapter, he's explaining and expressing that he hears us when we are crying and groaning because of this slavery, this bondage that we were in Egypt. He hears us. He exists. That's the best thing about the Most High. Not only does he exist, he does not change. Like, he's the same today, yesterday, and forever. His word does not change. He exalts his word above his name, above all his name. He's given us a remembrance, something to recall from our foremothers, our forefathers, or reverse that, our forefathers and foremothers, so that we can have something to look forward to. Come over here to Romans. If you don't believe me, because let every word that man speak be a lie, but the word of the Most High God be the truth. Come over here to Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." This is important. That's why you're supposed to meditate upon this word day and night. That's why you're supposed to study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. It's important that you stay in this word. Every issue that you have, whether it be monetary, warring with different spirits, estate, righteous walk, instruction, how to deal with your people. It's literally a life. It's showing you life. Like, the word is right here, and it's so important. It's so important to not give up, because there's absolutely no other name that you could be saved by. And you leave this truth. You walk away from this truth. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? It's like leaving the Matrix just to come back to it. Like a dog returning to its own vomit. There's really nothing and nowhere that you can go. There's nothing that you can do. It's not even pleasurable anymore, because you know the truth. You're so deep in, you can't turn around. You got to keep going till you get to the end. And that's just a little word of encouragement. Because I know with everything that we see going on in this world, going on amongst one another, we need it. We need it. From how you are treating your people, how I'm treating my people, how you're treating the people close to you, how I'm treating the people close to me, how I'm viewing this world, how you're viewing this world, your actions, your thoughts, everything. Just don't give up, my people. Don't give up. I want to go ahead and timestamp this evening. It is the 25th day. What month are we in? Let me take a look and see. Just a second. I had to go walk over to my calendar from the congregation that I follow along with. And we're in the 4th month. So it is the 25th day of the 4th Hebrew month. And I have not looked at the moon, so I'm not necessarily certain at the phase of the moon or the moon phase that we are in. But a few days ago, probably like almost a week ago, when I was at the store, it looked like it was a full moon. It was lovely. But yes, we are in the 25th day of the, what month did I just say? I forgot, but y'all should remember. Y'all hear me. And as far as Gregorian wise, it's July 30th of 2024, and it's now 7:50 p.m. And that's Central Standard. It is, what day of the week are we on? I feel like I'm so behind, y'all. 3rd day of the week. And the days are passing by fast, very, very fast. But we're going to be in a chamber of wisdom. We're going to be in a chamber of wisdom. I can't leave this particular chapter. I've literally been U-turning and coming back and circling back to this chapter for almost a week and a half now. And I guess I just wanted to share it with you. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a breakdown per se, but just to read along, just to sit here with you all, because I haven't been on here in so long and I've missed y'all. I think that'd be great. But let us go ahead and take a moment out to say prayer. You know, if any of my sisters, of course, ensure that your heads are covered, because your head belongs to the man, which belongs to Yahweh Shai, which belongs to Yahweh. We do have to keep the perfect order. And to any brothers that may be listening, of course, you are aware that I do know my place. I know that I cannot usurp authority over a male, but I also cannot stop any males from listening. However, if you are tuning in and you are staying for prayer, please ensure that the crown of your head is not covered, because your head belongs to Yahweh Shai, which belongs to Yahweh. We want to keep the perfect order. But with further ado, if we could please close our eyes, bow our heads, and if we are able, ensure that we are facing the east as we pray unto the Most High God of Israel. We will be reciting the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. Abba Yanoah, Yata Kwadash, Shamka, Wayata Barak, Malakwatha, Ratazawanka Yahaya, Aishwaya, Bashamayam, Waba Arataza, Watantan, Lachanawa, Tamyadyat, Ramachawal, Lanawa, Chataatyanawa, Kaashra, Anaknawa, Mawakalyam, Lachawathayam, Lanawa, Wa'al Tabayanawa, Layadya, Nasayawan, Washamayanawa, Makal Rai, Aman. For my predominant English speakers, this is to say, Our Father, it shall be holy, your name, and it will be blessed, thy kingdom. Thy will, it will be done in heaven and in earth. And you will give our bread continually, and forgive to us our sins, as which we forgive to sinners to us. And do not let us enter to the hands of temptation. Protect us from all evil. So be it. Thank you all for staying tuned during prayer. You all know I absolutely love the opportunity to incline in the spirit as we decrease in the flesh, and continue to allow the Lord to purge us until we are yielding forth fruits that are worthy of repentance. I love that prayer a lot. It's saying so much and so little, because we know that the Lord doesn't necessarily like when we're babbling and have a multitude of words when we're praying to him. Straight to the point, be simple. You know, the one that's most plain, or the one that speaks as plain as possible is like literally the realest one in the room. And we know the realest one in this room is Yahweh to the death of us. You know, you don't have to say much. It's so plain. This prayer it's ginormous in meaning. I mean, asking the Most High to forgive us as we also work on forgiving those that have done us wrong. We know that forgiveness, that's a salvatory issue. If we don't forgive our brethren, your sister, your brother, for the things that they've done to you, the Most High ain't going to forgive you. It's a salvatory thing. It's saying so much, and then to say that we want the will of the Father, we want it to reflect on earth as his kingdom in heaven. That's big. That's proper rulership. That's peace. Just peace. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from that evil. There's so much temptation everywhere we look. We literally reside in a flesh. And there be those instances, those times where your flesh wants to appease its carnal appetite. And you have to be delivered from that temptation so that you're not given over to sin, because we know for the wages of sin is death. That's what you earn for sinning. Like, you go on your job and your wage for working at your job is what, 25 an hour, 30 an hour, or salary? That's your wage. The monetary USD dollar, that's your wage. The wage for sin is death. That prayer is saying to deliver us from evil. And don't allow us to go into temptation. That's big. You got to abstain from appeasing your carnal appetite. And it can be a challenge. But the deeper that you get into this walk, the deeper your respect for the Lord, the even more sincere and earnest of your fear in the Lord turns away those sins. Come over here to, this is another chamber of wisdom. And this is like my favorite book, Ecclesiasticus, which a lot of us may call Sirach. Let me get there. Just a second. This is chapter 1 in verse 21. I love this verse. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 21. It says, "The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath." If you are in reverential fear, even in buckling of the knees like Belshazzar, fear of the Most High God of Israel, you're not going to sin. Because you in this word, in the more that you understand your God, the terrible power that he is, the power that he is. Do you hear me? The power that the Most High God of Israel is. When you understand that, and that his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, and are specifically on the nation of Israel, you live your life very differently. And I take that for myself too. I ain't saying that I don't sin. I'm not saying that I do not mess up. Not at all. But we are working to perfect the fear of the Most High in us. Because when you fear the Most High, that is the thing that driveth away sins. You too fearful to do it because you know he can hear you. He can see you. He got eyes on you everywhere you go. There is absolutely nowhere that you can go. It don't matter how far back you try to go. You go run into the Most High. Which leads us right into the chapter that we're going to be visiting in the Chamber of Wisdom. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 139. And we're going to begin in verse 1. We're already approaching the 25th minute. I did not know that I was talking that long, but I appreciate you all for listening. Let's go ahead and pull out our KJVs with the Apocrypha if you have it. If not, you can follow along. But of course, you want to make sure that you're searching the scriptures like a Thessalonian. So we're going to begin in verse 1 in chapter 139 of the book of Psalms, which reads, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David." Verse 1. "O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me." That's very straightforward. We know what that means. And it's a penetrating verse because it's already cutting you. The Lord is he that searches you, and he knows you. He knows you. He knows your intention. He knows your intent. And he knows your reasoning behind everything that you do. You can lie to me all you want, but you cannot lie to the Most High God of Israel, because it is him that has searched you and known you. Verse 2. And let me just pause. That's not just limited to doing sin or something that's classified as bad in the eyes of other people, right? Because some of us are truly ignorant to the things that we do. And I know that ignorant, being called ignorant, it can be an offensive word. It could be used as an offense, or it could be used as an adjective, a describing word. A person that is ignorant. A person that is ignorant is someone that lacks knowledge. Some of us are truly ignorant or lack knowledge in right from wrong. You understand? So this is not just limited to the quote-unquote bad things that we do. This is the good, the righteous, the upright as well. What was your intentions for giving money to the poor? That's a goodly deed to do, isn't it? To give some type of finance to someone that needs to eat or needs clothes or needs water. That's a goodly thing. But what was your intention behind doing it? I see you got your phone out. You're recording it. You want the reward of man. So you're not going to get any reward in secret by the Most High God of Israel, right? So what's your intention behind it? So it's not just limited to the bad, the quote unquote bad. Because circling back around, there are literally some individuals that are ignorant to the things that they do. But when you know better, the worldly saying, you do better, right? When you know this word, you know this law, you got to live by it. Because there's no more sacrifice when you are willingly sinning. Come over here to Hebrews 10:26, I think it is. Oh, I'm rusty, y'all. Let's see. Yes, this is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. It says, "For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins." So if you're willingly doing something and you know better, you're willingly sinning. I'll use myself for an example. I told a very, very big lie. I think this big lie that I told was in, let's say, I'll just say December of 2023, right? And of course we know as a human being, as a person, it's not good to lie. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows it's not good to lie. It's not good to lie. Like, you're not supposed to lie. It makes people not trust you. You know, no one's going to believe you. You know, you're going to be like the quote unquote, the boy that cried wolf. We all know that. But it hit different when you see it in the law, right? And I lied to an individual practicing in the faith. Now, my intention, which the Lord saw as well, it was not to hurt anyone. Nothing like that. It was to escape a situation that had occurred that put me in a very bad mental place. And I'll never justify my actions. I'm just telling you what my intent was. But I was just like, why is everybody so mad about this? It's not even that serious. You know, like, I was like, it's nobody's business. It's my business. If I didn't want to tell, I didn't have to tell, right? And this one day, I'm reading through the scriptures, right? And I'm looking for a precept. And I knew that my precept was in the book of Leviticus, right? So I'm turning and I'm turning and I'm turning and I'm turning, right? I'm turning. And I get to Leviticus because I was looking for the verse in particular that I was looking for was verse 16 in chapter 19 of Leviticus, when it's speaking about not standing at the blood of your brethren. When you see that someone is doing them wrong, you're supposed to defend them, right? And I was like, okay, I know it's in this chapter here. Let me just like go through the verses and see, right? So I started at verse 1. I got to verse 11. Let me read you what verse 11 in chapter 19 of Leviticus says. It says, "Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another." This is a law, my people. It's a law. You can't lie to your people. It's a law. It is a law. You cannot lie to your people. It is a law. When I read that, it cut me so deep. I was bleeding out. And then I felt ashamed. And then after feeling ashamed, I felt embarrassed. Oh my God. But now that I know better, because I used to be ignorant to it scripturally on a scriptural level, now I try and choose my words very wisely. That's not to say that I have perfected this thing, right? But it's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this so that I don't put myself in a situation where I'll have to end up, saying a lie or telling a lie to deceive someone because I'm trying to, hide my embarrassment or hide my shame. Let me watch what I'm doing, right? These scriptures, this word is going to get you right. So that's just to say, there's no more sacrifice when you are willingly sinning. When you know better, when you know this truth, you do better. Let me turn back to Hebrews 10 and 26 right quick, because there's a great precept of what the truth is, right? And that's going to be in the same book, the book of Psalms. And this is chapter 119, 142 is the verse. So 119, verse 142, it reads, "Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth." So once you learn this law, Once you learn this law, you have to abide in this law. This is why it is important to meditate upon the word day and night. Have I read Leviticus before? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I can sincerely and honestly, truthfully say, I forgot that was a law. I forgot to the point that when I read it, I was like, whoa, I did not know that this was here. You have to be continually in this word. You're not going to remember everything. That's why it's here. And it's important that you take out that time for the Lord. You have to. You don't want the Most High to send his son, Yahawashi, back and find you doing nothing. You got to be putting your brick in any way that you can, right? But anyhow, let's come back to 139 in the book of Psalms. So we understand that we're not going to limit it to just the searching out of, just the bad, also the good as well. What are your intentions overall? The Lord knows. So let's reread verse 1. It says, "O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me." You can't even hide from the Lord. Like, it don't matter what you say, what you do. You can't even justify yourself before the Most High God. Because he knows you. He literally, that's amazing, y'all. Like, that's amazing. If you ever think that no one understands you, nobody knows you, the Most High knows you. You cry out to the Lord, you supplicate to him, and he'll hear your voice if you are following his law. Right? Come over here to verse 2. It says, "Thou knowest my down sitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off." That's just let me backing off of verse 1. It's just carrying on. He know when you idle, when you sitting. He know when you going out and coming in. He knows these things. He knows your thoughts. Ain't a thought that you can think that he don't know that you're thinking. He gave it to you to think. He's everywhere. Lord Jesus, this is crazy. He's everywhere. Man, it gives you another fear, right? So come over to verse 3. Let's keep going. It says, "Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways." He's everywhere that you go. It's like a continuation of reiterating. It's placing emphasis on the importance and understanding that your God is watching you, that your God knows you. He's literally right there. He has eyes everywhere. He got eyes everywhere. Everywhere. He has eyes everywhere. He's outside of time, and his angels are watching every single thing that you are doing. He's a consuming fire in another dimension, watching through the spirit of his angels. And they taking down every single thing that you are doing. Everything. And yes, you are supposed to be fearful. Yes, I am trying to strike up some fear in you, spark some fear, some reality that the Lord can see. I'm trying to. And trying to do it to myself as well. Child, if ain't nobody listening, I'm listening. I'll speak to the wind. Verse 4. It says, "For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether." You can't say nothing that the Lord don't already know that you're going to say. You come to him and pray to him. He already know what you need. He even knows the things that you desire, righteous desires. Don't ask amiss, though. Ask correctly. But he already knows. He already knows. Verse 5, it says, "Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me." That word beset, I believe that means surround, right? Let me just verify. I'm going to look in the Blue Letter Bible, which is, I believe, a concordance, if I'm not mistaken. Oops, I put 53. I did not mean to do that. So let's look at verse 5 and look at this word beset. That's not it. Oh, there it is. Yes. So to beset means to bind or besiege or confine. Yeah. It's like a surrounding. So it says, thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. The Most High is surrounding his path. His spirit is there. It's present. It's present before you, behind you, on the side of you. You are encompassed about. And has he cast down the spirits on the left side to torment and afflict you because you're not doing what is righteous and upright in his sight? Or has he beset the right hand about you to protect your way, to fulfill the desires of your heart, righteous desires? Verse 6, it says, such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it. And that is of a truth. That is of a truth, because it's like you thinking about it. How do you know everything I'm thinking? Like, even before I think it, like, you already know what I'm thinking, right? You even know, like, why I did it, what my intentions were behind it. If this was a true mistake or if this was true malice. That's high. Like, that's it's wonderful when you think about that. Like, such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It's high. I cannot attain unto it. I can't grasp this being that we disrespect, that we sin against, that we do wicked toward the power of the Most High. And it just led me to Jeremiah. Come over here to Jeremiah right quick. I gotta find it. Yes, it's Jeremiah chapter 5. And we're gonna read verse 22. So this is Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 22. It says, fear ye not me, saith the Lord. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. The Lord is like, how is earth and ashes proud? You proud, rebellious, stiff-necked, sottish child. Do you know the power of the living God? This is the same being that told the waters to stay at a specific place and not to go past this place. His very word does what it is intended to do, and it does not return to him void. How are you not fearful of that? That is a wonderful knowledge that I cannot attain unto. I can't hide from the Most High. You can't hide from the Most High. It don't matter how far you go. It don't matter. He's right there. Come over here to verse 7. It says, whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? Where can I go? Where can I run to? I can sleep all I want to do, because I'm notorious for that. Yo, when I'm going through something, some type of affliction, there are cases where, I done got beat down so much, y'all. I get up. I ain't going to justify it. I will get up. But there are those instances where I'll try to sleep it away. I'll go to sleep. I'll go to sleep. I even had a case scenario. I think this was around November. I was about to move to another continent. I was going to leave everything that I had right here on this continent. I was moving to another continent. I was not turning around, running. But where can you go? It says again, whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? There is absolutely nowhere that you can go that the Most High is not going to know and be right there while you're fleeing in flight, on foot fleeing. He's right there, right next to you. Where you gonna go? Right there. Wow, such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it. This is deep. Verse 8. This is amazing. It says, if I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. The Most High's very countenance is light. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. There's no darkness that can cover you. It don't matter what tree you hide behind to eat the abomination, to eat the rat, the mice, the mouse. He can see you. It does not, you're naked in front of the Lord. And it's not a physical naked. And I know my people understand, but to any of you that may be newer in this faith, not just physically naked, you are naked before the Lord. There's no covering thick enough to hide you from the Most High. Verse 12, it says, Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. Verse 13, For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee, when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. It says my substance was not hid from thee. Y'all know what that substance means? His very being, who he is, his existence. It was not hid from the Lord. In his very mother's womb, the Most High covered him. He shapes us in the womb of our mother. This is amazing. This is the God that we serve. For he is our Lord. And we should supplicate and beseech earnestly. And not for our righteousness' sake, but for his righteousness' sake. That he show us his will and lead us into the land of uprightness. Verse 16, it says, Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. Wow. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. Yo, such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it. This is amazing. Verse 17. It says, How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God. How great is the sum of them. Come over here to Jeremiah 29 and 11. It says, For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. So it says, How precious also are thy thoughts unto me. The Most High has he has a thought to give us a desired end. An end that gives us peace, because we already know what the end says. We got this book right here, accessible at our fingertips. The end that he had, the beautiful end that he has for us is literally to be living in peace. The very nations that have encompassed us about to destroy us, under us, back under us where they belong, subservient to us, forever and everlasting. And that's a kingdom that will last forever and ever and ever, ever and ever, ever. Seriously. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, oh God, how great is the sum of them. Any affliction that you're going through, you got to recall the promises that the Most High has made unto his people. Yo, we have Yahawashi literally mediating on our behalf. He has entered into the whole... Come over here to Hebrews. I believe it's chapter 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Chapter 6 in the book of Hebrews. We're going to start at verse 18 through 20. It says that by two immutable things in which it was impossible for God to lie, we might have a strong consolation. Oh my God. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, both sure and steadfast, and which entereth into that within the veil, whither the forerunner is for us entereth, even Yahawashi, made an high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Our hope is in that we have Yahweh Shai entered in within the veil, mediating on our behalf forever after the order of Melchizedek. So it ain't no end. We have the accuser of the brethren. It's like a spiritual law of court, a court of law, accusing you. Because Satan knows this law. He knows it very well. And just in this spiritual court of law, accusing you, offending you. He is our biggest accuser. And we're held, you can become held in contempt when you are purposely sitting. But you got Yahweh Shai literally there, mediating on your behalf. She didn't know. He didn't know. By his very blood. But we so stupid. We be crucifying him afresh. It's like him reliving his time on this raggedy earth, and in specific, the moments that led up to his crucifying. When you read the book, the Gospels, when it's expressing and explaining explicitly the details in the events that led up to Yahweh Shai's crucifix, I know you get teary in the eyes. I know your eyes become wet. I know you cry, because I do. And when we are willfully sinning, we are crucifying him afresh. These profane, disgusting Israelites who are just Israelites in the flesh, because just because you are of Israel, as far as the flesh, it don't mean that you are actually an Israelite. Putting their hands on him, mocking him, scoffing him. You got to think about these things. You got to meditate on this word. And I'm taking this in for myself as well, y'all. Because it's not nothing to play with. He's literally there, mediating on our behalf. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God. How great is the sum of them. He gave us help. Like literally, we're cheating if you really think about it. We're cheating because we already know who wins at the end. We already know how the end is going to be as children of the light. And then you looking at the children of darkness who are oblivious and dead to everything. We already cheating because we got this big cheat code right here. So we see everything. We already know what's going to happen. But then you got an even bigger cheat code because you got Yahweh Shai. Come over here to Romans. I think it's Romans 9 that I want. Let me see. I'm thinking that's exact. Yes. Romans chapter 9, verses 3 through 5. It says, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh Christ came, who is over all, God blessed forever. Amen. We got like a physical cheat code right here at the fingertips. And then you got a spiritual cheat code. You got Yahweh Shai literally at the right hand of the judge. You got to earnestly stay in this word, my people. Sincerely stay in this word. And you got to seek this truth unto the death of you as the Most High fights for you. Listen to those words. All you have to do is seek this truth unto the death of you as the Most High is fighting for you. You keep this law. That is the whole duty of man. Come over here to Ecclesiastes. I think it's chapter 13. Hold on, child. I think I done went past it. Yes, this is Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High God of Israel, and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. This is your whole duty. This is all you got to do. Keep the commandments. Allow him to fight for you, vindicate for you. And when it's time to be afflicted, when it's time for you to be proved and tried, to make sure that you're going to keep this law, which is why he's proving and trying you, you be consistent and be patient and have favor. And do not forget prosperity when you are being afflicted. Because in prosperity, we forget affliction. And when we're getting afflicted, we forget prosperity. You got to be balanced, just like your God. He does not like an unjust balance. Be tried and love it. Bask in it. And I'm taking it for myself. Because every time I'm like, man, oh my God. Like, dang. Laying on the floor with my face to the ground. Looking like I gave up. You have to keep fighting this good fight, yo. Yahushua did not come here for no reason. And you are an example of the one that you are following. And those that are around us, we are lights in darkness. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. When there's virtue in the room, everybody sees it. It's like a magnet. And then when that virtue is gone, it's missed. You don't get a light to put it under a bushel. It's so people can see you are an example. So I don't care what you're going through. And I'm not saying I don't care what you're going through. You know what I mean? I don't care what you're going through. You are a direct reflection of what you are following. The Messiah, Yahushua. What you looking like? Pick up your shoulders and your head. What are you doing? It's not over. You still here. You got to keep fighting. He's associating himself with us. And we got to make him look good. Anyhow, let's reread verse 17. It says, how precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God, how great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? And that's important to understand. That is really, really important to understand. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? You got to despise this world. You have to have enmity with this world. You have to choose the Most High God, even when it's complex for your flesh. You have to always remember that it can only destroy the flesh. The only one that you fear is the Most High God. The only one that you care about how you look to is the Most High God. You shouldn't be concerned about what other people are doing. You shouldn't envy sinners. You can't be envying death. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. Those that are partaking in iniquity, sin, willingly, even after understanding and hearing this truth, they hate the Lord. My enemies, your enemies, because you ain't never had a friend like me. I ride for you, so ride with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a worldly saying. How much more the Most High? And he's going to continue to prove you, afflict you. Are you going to turn on him? Are you going to curse him? Are you going to forget all that he has done, all that he has brought you through just because this little itty-bitty little situation that you're going through? He going to keep trying you. Continue to afflict you and try you. Are you even worth being nigh unto the King, Yahushua, in the same kingdom, breathing the same peaceful, beautiful air as him? Are you even fit to be there? You got to examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Come on, come over here to... This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. It says, examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua is in you, except ye be reprobates. You do not want to be a reprobate. You got to stand this test. It's a continual proving. Just like how you prove a friend, how much more the Most High God of Israel? This is a kingdom that's going to be everlasting forever. Peace, just peace forever. Forever. Peace, peace, order, forever. It's clean. It's clear. No sin. It's righteous. It's upright forever. What are you doing to show him that you are trying earnestly to be even considered deserving to make it in by the skin of your teeth? What are you doing? Are you even worth it? Are you fighting for this? You become weak when you get afflicted, but you're so joyous and full of fervor and fire and confidence when you're like making it, or what is it, prospering? You got this prosperity spirit on you. You got this Christian spirit on you. No. We got to understand he's going to continue to afflict you, to try you, to prove you. He's pruning you, and he's going to bring to end the thing that he has begun in you. You don't want to be that fig tree that Yahawashi cursed to never bring forth fruit again. And let me tell you something from a farmer that I know, and then also from personal experience in farming. A fig tree, if you got like a lazy farmer, a fig tree is literally one of those, it's one of those seeds you can throw into the ground and just leave it and just go about your life. You're like the lazy farmer. There's absolutely nothing that you can do to destroy a fig tree. Nothing. You can move it, you can replant it, you can cut it down, all of that. And that's just from a farmer's perspective, a worldly perspective. You are being pruned to bring forth more fruit. You do not want to be that fig tree that gets cursed. What in the heck did you do to be destroyed when there's literally nothing that you can do to a fig tree to destroy it? For those who have ears, hopefully you can hear. We're going to proceed into verse 19, which says, "Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God, depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee?" Yes, we are grieved. You got to think about that. We are grieved with those that are rising up against the Most High. That is a very grieving thing. It's a discomfiting thing. It's a disgusting thing. It's humorous, because really, the Most High, you think like you can go back like toe to toe with him? Like, really? Okay. But it's a grieving thing. Because just like this world acknowledges the virtue or the light of the children of the light, there are people that are intrigued by it, and there are those that hate it because they know that you are a direct reflection of the being that you are representing. I hope y'all hear me. Verse 22. It says, "I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." And let me read that again. Verse 23. "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." You got to understand that, similar to when I was expressing in the beginning the prayer that we open up with, how it says so much, but it's barely saying it's saying so much with not a multitude of words, if that's the right way to position that sentence. This verse here, verse 23 in specific, is saying so much in little words. He says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts." He's asking a being who he has acknowledged for 22 verses, that already has searched him and known him, to search him. Continue searching me and know my heart. What's going on in my mind? Try me, prove me, afflict me, put me in that furnace of adversity. See if I stand the test. And know my thoughts. Am I gonna curse you? Am I gonna sin against you? Am I gonna throw the hand up, wag the head? Am I gonna leave this thing? Or am I gonna continue to pursue this faith to the death of me? She says, search me, oh God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And when you ask the Lord that, you gotta be sincere, because you better believe He will do it. I got this underlined in bold red. It's black and red. So it's black because that was around the time that I was homeless when I was reading this for the first time. And I loved it then. And red means I visited it again and underlined it again. I love this verse. You ask Him and He will show you. He's going to prove you. And it says, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. If you find wickedness in me, when you are knowing my heart, trying my heart, when you're knowing my thoughts, when you're searching me, if you find something that is against you, that is in opposition to your righteousness, your uprightness, get it out of me. Lead me to uprightness. I love this chapter, y'all. I know it was like straight to it. I know I didn't get too deep into it as I usually do. I just love this. I love this chapter. I love this chapter, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. I haven't been on here in so long, but I loved this. I loved it. I loved it. I'm probably going to read it again when I get off of here. But it has been a pleasure to be on with you all. Oh, look, we've made it to an hour. Oh, that's not bad. Well, I love you all, my people, Israelites. And that would be today's modern day Blacks, Native Americans, and Mexicans. I love you dearly, those that are Israelites of spirit and flesh. Remember, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Never cease prayer, bind and loose, and always live ready, my people. I will talk to you all as Yahweh wills. Continue fighting the good fight. You got this. And we're going to get out of here as soon as the Lord finds it pleasant in His eyes. All right, I got to go. Love you. Bye.